right, so I don't even know if this was real, bro, because Aiden Ross interviewed freaking Kim Jong Un like 3 months ago or something like that, right? So y'all were there, right? Um, what's it called? Yeah, so Aiden Ross interviewed Kim Jong Un. So when I seen this Tucker Carlson Putin story, I wasn't too I wasn't too convinced, Tucker Carlson Putin. Let's see. Check this out, y'all. Check this out.
I didn't go to Russia, of course, to promote Vladimir Putin.
At the World Government Summit in Dubai this week, Tucker Carlson defended his controversial decision to interview Vladimir Putin. Here are 3 responses to the criticisms he received. Number 1, why now?
I've been trying for 3 years to do this interview. The U.S. government prevented me from doing it by spying on my text messages and leaking them to the New York Times. And that spooked the Russian government into canceling
My bad, y'all. My bad.
the interviews. And so once I discovered that that was happening, and I confirmed it was happening, and they admitted that they did it, then I was told.
All right, we're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna roll with it.
Monomaniacally dedicated to doing this interview because they told me I couldn't.
Number 2, why didn't he ask Putin about government-ordered assassinations?
I didn't talk about the things that every other American media outlet talks about.
Why? Yes, this
because
is my
those
question.
are covered, and because I have spent my life talking to people who run countries in various countries and have concluded the following. That every leader kills people, including my leader. Every leader kills people. Some kill more than others. Leadership requires killing people, sorry.
Number 3, did he seek to promote Putin's image to the world?
I didn't go to Russia, of course, to promote Vladimir Putin, and if that was my purpose, I'd say so, because I'm not embarrassed.
Well, that seems to do that.
Are we having a talk show or a serious conversation?
Here's the quote. Thank you.
I watched all 2 hours and 7 minutes of Tucker Carlson's interview with Putin, just like in case you didn't want to. Here are 3 things that I think are worth fact-checking. We start with an extended history lesson.
Can you tell us what period? I'm losing track of where in history we are.
Putin says that Ukraine is an artificial state, which is something that he said a lot at the beginning of the war.
So in this sense, we have every reason to affirm that Ukraine is an artificial state.
Ukraine has been part of various empires over hundreds of years, but it is a nation state, and most Ukrainians want to keep it that way. They spoke about why Russia invaded Crimea in 2014 and then the rest of Ukraine in 2022.
But we never agreed to NATO's expansion, and moreover, we never agreed that Ukraine would be in NATO. We did not agree to NATO bases there without any discussion with us.
They're all saying she didn't watch. She's definitely being paid by someone. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to watch it for myself. I definitely I seen I seen bits and pieces, but this Tucker Carlson guy, man, I'm just not convinced of this guy, to be honest.
Tucker Carlson just interviewed Vladimir Putin. This has made waves for a number of reasons, with one of them being in Tucker's announcement video. He said he's doing this because no Western journalist has bothered to interview Putin or report on the Russian side of the war. And that is just absolutely false and, if intentional, an outright lie. You don't have to take my word for it or any number of international journalists' word for it. The literal Kremlin called bullshit on Tucker, saying they've actually received lots of requests for interviews with Putin from Western outlets, but that they have no desire to communicate with that kind of media. Tucker also conveniently ignores in this announcement that 2 American reporters, Evan and Alsa, have been imprisoned in Russia for reporting for nearly a year now, and they've been denied a trial. 12 of the 17 foreign journalists jailed in foreign countries worldwide are in Russia, where they also have a total of 22 journalists sitting in detention. And this as Russia continues to issue arrest warrants for Russian journalists in other countries. Accurately reporting on Putin and his war is treated as a crime in Russia. Tucker also said that the media is refusing to tell the American people why he's waging this war, which again, it's so weird. It's like there's a trend here. Also not true. American media not only aired Putin's speech on the night that he invaded Ukraine, it was covered endlessly. Pretty much whenever Putin speaks on the war, it's on the front page of every real news.
All right, so there's Philip DeFranco giving some thoughts on it. What's up, kitty? Shout outs to the little kitty. Little Italian. All right, man. Let's see what.
I wanted to come on here and give my thoughts on the interview between Vladimir Putin and Tucker Carlson. Overall, I thought it was a very good
Yo, there we go. Ari, tell him how you really feel. Yeah, I'm not convinced of Tucker, man. He's not my favorite.
interview, and I'm really grateful to Tucker Carlson for giving us the opportunity to hear what Vladimir Putin thinks. We get that opportunity very rarely. He doesn't really give interviews with Western journalists anymore. He gave a long Q&A session at his end of the year press conference a few months ago. But in general, it's nice to get a picture into Vladimir Putin's mind from a kind of unlikely source, from an American perspective. So in general, I thought it was a very good interview, and I'm happy that Tucker Carlson made this happen. One thing that people were talking about online was the fact that Putin didn't really seem to know how to address a Western audience. He didn't make a pitch for Russia that was geared towards what American right-wingers will respond to. Instead, he gave like an hour-long lecture on Russian history that most people probably found boring. And I think it's kind of underestimating or getting Putin wrong to think that he would deliberately come up with some kind of strategy rhetorically to appeal to American right-wingers. When he goes on and on and on about history,
Yo, this dude's kind of yapping about nothing. All right, I'm gonna try to watch this. Oh,
Alright, y'all gotta pay attention. Threats are already starting to roll in for Tucker Carlson. It's also been announced he will drop the interview with Putin tomorrow. Before I hear the words controlled opposition, know that God can use anything for his will, and what Tucker is going to say in the interview will be true and is what's been hidden.
all right, we're gonna go ahead and take a 5-minute break.